Good afternoon, traders. It is Wednesday, January 15th, 2020, and the U.S. stock market is closed. Well, the Dow Jones Industrial Average had a historical day today, and we had our best day of 2020 so far. So the Dow did great, and so did we. You can see here what happened with the Dow. It just opened up and screamed uh, all the way up to up here on top. This is a all-time record intraday high for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Um, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Uh, it looks like it was probably 29,150 or so up there, and then it retreated. Actually, the it closed right here, which is officially up 91 points. That's about half, cut in half, this big runoff. But cut in half or not, that is this first official close over 29,000, and is in fact obviously a new all-time record close for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So Dow Jones Industrial Average closes today higher than it has ever been in its entire history. So it's a big day for the Dow. Our next big barrier is going to be 30,000. Yeah, we'll break out the champagne when it takes out 30,000. And that could be in a very short period of time. This is a crazy runaway bull market. I mean, imagine this, it's doing all this in spite of all these problems with Iran, in spite of trade problems with China, and in spite of bringing the President of the United States to an impeachment trial next week. It's just incredible. It's saying to us there's nothing wrong with the country, nothing wrong with the economy. This is boom boom time, and it's a great bull market to be trading, and we are doing well, and we're going to do well all year long. Anyway, so enough of my chest pounding here. We closed out today our 8 positions with a grand total of over $27,000 in profits. So that is the biggest single day we've had so far in 2020. I mean, 27,000 is a big number on closeout. So real pleased with that one. We did get into 14 positions on this run, 8 positive, 6 negative, and we're only carrying positive $3,000 going into tomorrow. So we don't have a real big positive number going into tomorrow, but it is positive. I will show you next why that number isn't as big as it should be. You know, I'm always showing you the good stuff. I'll show you a really crappy trade today, and it's the reason why we don't have a big number today. This is CLVS Oncology, CLVS, and you know, I tell you every time we buy the gaps, big gap here in CLVS. Actually, we did pretty well on our entry on this. If we'd bought this thing up here at the top of the opening range, we would have been in big trouble. We don't mess around with that opening range. We waited till it got down here at least before we got into this big gap open. But it didn't help. It rallied just a little for maybe a half hour, and then it slid. And it slid all day long trying to fill this gap here. and we ended up closing out down $4,600 in open trade in Clovis Oncology. So that is why we don't have a big positive number today. All the other stuff was fine, but this was the dog of the day. Sometimes people ask, I had a guy actually uh, tweeted it today, is, are you still hanging on to Clovis Oncology? The answer is yes. Now, I'm not always right on this. When I see this kind of action, I'm going to tell you we'll probably get a little better exit tomorrow. This is never going to turn into a winning trade, but we probably will exit this with a little better than $4,600 loss. That doesn't mean I can't be wrong. I have been wrong, but generally speaking, this looks to me like it's probably going to come back a little tomorrow, but it's not going to go positive. So I'm not holding my breath for that. Okay, now I'm going to show you the really good trades. The trades that put us at that $27,000 positive figure today. And this first one is CWH, which is Camping World Holdings. And we had bought this 2 days ago. You see, you had a little gap up there. We bought that gap, and this one paid off. It closed really nicely on Monday, but we hang on to it, and then it big, huge gap yesterday, just a monster gap, and it kind of settled back. I was a little bit nervous with this settling back because I just wanted to get out of it and take my profits. But it's good we hung on because we had another little gap this morning, and that put us out of this with $9,600 in Camping World Holdings. Just a beautiful trade. Really, really nice. And then I'm going to show you the Big Daddy. This is what I really call an outlier trade. And we get these. I told you 70% of our profits come from like 5% of our trades. And this is one of them. This is MNTA, which is Momenta Pharmaceuticals. And let's just go back again all the way to Monday. We bought this thing about 3 hours in on Monday, and it did close profitably on Monday. And then it pops up here a little for our exit, and we took about $5,000 out of Momenta right there yesterday. So we got $5,000 out of this thing already within the first hour yesterday. But then it keeps going and we get re-entered. And some people just don't understand my re-entry trades. And I tell you this, statistically speaking, these re-entry trades are more profitable than any of our other trades. This is a good example. This thing just kept going yesterday, going, and then look what happened this morning. This thing pops up again. Big open there. Would have liked to have taken it right there on top, but we're not. That isn't. I told you we don't trade the opening range, so we got out here about an hour after the open. That was a good exit, and we took $15,600 out of Momenta Pharmaceuticals. Huge trade. Go figure. We got over $20,000 on this 3-day move. Just a beautiful trade in Momenta Pharmaceuticals. So, hey, I'm flying high tonight. This is just great. This is Trader Bob signing off. See you tomorrow on Thursday.